And we're back. Hi, TAKful Creator here. Let's get started. May God the Creator bless us. May God the Redeemer heal us. May God the Holy Spirit enlighten us. Give us eyes to see, ears to hear, and hands to do the work of God. Feet to walk the path of justice, and mouths to preach the good news. May the angel of peace, prosperity, love, abundance, guidance, and grace watch over us and lead us to the reign of God. Ashe. So I stated in the previous reading that the energy is so thick. Is super thick right now, and because of that I would like to kind of break it up by using regular games but if you are a beginner and you want to jump into it, having card games like Trivial Pursuit, which I have somewhere around here. Give me 2 seconds. Okay, so like Trivia Pursuit, or Would You Rather, games like this where they give you kind of like wording and weird wording, and you kind of have to understand why certain things stick out to you, okay? Because those certain things is how you're going to answer, okay? And that's going to say whether or not you win the game or you lose the game. But again, it is the things that stick out to you the most, is the things that you are naturally interested in, and the frequency of how those things fall into your lap, right? How those things come up in the game, or how the information maybe just lands in your lap, like pops up in your head when you are asked to, answer one of these questions, and you don't really know where it came from. Okay, that's intuition. All right, that's a telepathy, depending on who else knew the information prior to you offering the answer. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do here right now. It's one of my favorite things to do, right? It also gives you a leg up when it comes to like game night or family night or something like that, because you can really deduce more quickly, because you're doing all this practice and you're seeing how how life is a game, how it's a huge simulated game, and these are hint cards, and we're calling them mini games, or we're calling them games, or whatever the case is. And no, they're literal hints to. Never know. Okay, so back to this. Okay, so let's start off with the first one. Your dreams written and directed by the makers of The Matrix, or by the makers of Girls Gone Wild. So here we are talking about life is a game, life is a simulated game, and the first would you rather question we talk about is, would you prefer your life to be The Matrix or Girls Gone Wild? Okay, so it's, this is, just so you see it, this doesn't really take much deduction, right? Because when we're talking about The Matrix, we're talking about the red or blue pill. So you're talking about, would you prefer life to be seen from a lens, right? Because it's all about perspective. Your mind state is your perspective. Two people can be sitting in the same place at the same time and have two different perspectives, i.e. having two different experiences. Oh my gosh, if you see this baby, oh my gosh, little curly brown and blonde hair, little cinnamon skin, gorgeous, look at this baby. And she know this baby's beautiful. Oh my gosh, you should see his little sweater. Okay, let me stop. Baby fever, but I do not have baby fever. He's just gorgeous. Like, you really should see this. We got his little boots on, and his boots match my shirt. Too cute. All right, too cute. All right, leaving that alone. So would you prefer your life to be written by the Matrix, red pill, blue pill, you understanding that life is a game and you can choose to see it as it is, or see it as the world is brainwashing us to view it as? Now realize, depending on your cultural backing, your ethnicity, your environmental impact, and then your environmental constraints, your version of the Matrix may not be, ideal. It may not be, perfection. Okay, so keep that in mind, right? When you're choosing the Matrix type of vibe for your life to be written. Realize there's a lot of theatrics, there's a lot of drama in a sense, but the drama is more action based, it's more thriller based, because it's expressing the impact of every one of your decisions, every one of your desires, everything that you think, and how energy really flows and is transferred. Okay, that's exactly how we're talking about tarot and how we're talking about spirituality. It's just energy transfer and consistent energy transfer, even past the realm of life or death. Okay, so would you like that, or would you prefer the makers of Girls Gone Wild, where you are able to indulge in your, oh, they're not even twins, she has them 2 different ages, oh, and they both have this gorgeous sandy hair, so beautiful, so beautiful. Okay, leaving it alone. Back to this. Okay, makers of Girls Gone Wild. Okay, so for one, this game is definitely, it's male driven. We already know that because of the patriarchy. Even though it was originally a matriarchy, we're gonna leave it alone. But we know these cards are male driven because Girls Gone Wild is really about, you know, girls, and girls, like the lack of maturity, lack of understanding how self-respect and self-discipline really engender respect and engender esteem, grace and humbleness, regality. So in a situation with Girls Gone Wild, it's the opposite. Those things are looked down upon. It's just the more unruly you are, the more free you are. And not to say free in a bad sense, because you can hone in on your freedom very differently, but freedom that requires a lot of lessons and trials and tribulations. So, and again, like in a sense, you're getting the same type of roller coaster energetically, but it's like, which one would you prefer? One that is more structured and you have more control and it's more trusting. It's, I don't know, it's I'm trying to see, I don't want to say like there's a hierarchy, like one's above the other, but there's a way that because you have all that control with the matrix, there's like a superiority complex that you get, but it's like a healthy one, kind of like a God complex, but that's not blasphemous. And then with the Girls Gone Wild, the self-respect that you have is mostly faked. The self-confidence that you have is mostly fake, because most people with healthy confidence, they don't walk around showing everything about them. It's the subtleness, it's the need to not have to, the need to not want to, that creates that ideal confidence that we're speaking on here. Okay, so I know I'm going on a tangent, but that is basically the difference in what we have here. Do you want freedom where you are able to manipulate the game and manipulate structures in a principled or moral way, or would you like freedom where you don't have to think about morals or you don't have to think about ethics and you can just do whatever you like? Which would you prefer? Okay, personally, you know what I would choose there based on how I described it, but we'll leave it open. I don't have my gavel out here. This is not meant for judgment. This is just meant for educational purposes. Oh, we have 2 here. Okay, so let's see. We'll read 2 for the second one. All right. So, would you prefer having elastic lips or reflective calves? Okay. So, let's see. Having elasticity means that, you know, it can keep going. The durability is, it's a high factor. The efficiency is higher because of the fact that it can withstand or withhold certain energies, certain tensions in a way that doesn't break it or doesn't like strip it of its core benefits, i.e. the elasticity. That's a core benefit. And it's dealing with the lips, so this is talking about the throat chakra, obviously, but expressing one's thoughts in a concise and mannered way, expressing the thoughts of others in a way that offers communion instead of separation, and to link the soul to the material world. Okay, so for example, we are living in a world like Avatar, right? Our consciousness is really what it is in our dreams, and then when we wake up, our consciousness is put into a new body, and it wakes up in this body and it does things in this body. We have to understand how this body feels and how it reacts to things, and you know, this body has to learn what things are and how to be and how to operate things, and just how the premise of the movie Avatar is, right? That is kind of what I'm sensing, right? From, would you prefer like elastic lips? Okay, because you're being put into this body, you're being put into this realm where you're able to be more free with things that don't attach themselves to you. Okay, even if it doesn't attach itself to your soul, you're still able to, you know, participate in it, talk about it, and be a part of it. Although you don't have to take that baggage with you, you don't have to keep it a part of you, in a sense. Okay, so that's what I'm getting by elastic lips. You're able to, you know, talk the talk on a regular basis without getting any repercussions for not walking the walk. Okay. And then you have reflective calves, right? So your calves are meant to do what? Propel you walking, propel you moving, propel you in physical action. So we have the difference between words, talk versus the walk. Okay. Now, reflective calves means that anyone that's behind you, they're able to, in a sense, see what's going on, right? And I say behind because, you know, if somebody was in front of you, they're not turning around to see, you know, who's behind them. No, they're just moving forward. Okay, so let's say you are running and there's someone who's running behind you. Your calves have mirrors on them, right? Like reflectors. So someone behind you can see that you're there. Or someone behind you can see, instead of you being the competition, that the competition is really within themselves. So you're out here running this race, and anyone that is viewing you in a negative light because they believe your competition actually sees the competition was within themselves. The competition is what they set out for you, whatever malice or egotistical or prideful opinion or thought process that they're engaging in, that competitive thought process, that is all themselves. They are seeing that it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them, because they see how you're moving in the world. They see how you're acting and showing up in the world. There's no need to question it. Okay, so in both senses, I'm not getting anyone's going to question what you're doing or how you're doing it. It's, what would you prefer? You to speak on whatever you want to without any repercussions, regardless if that makes you look good, if it makes you look bad. Who cares about your reputation? It's just, would you prefer that freedom, or would you prefer the freedom of doing, being in action, physically manipulating your surroundings in a way that offers you no backlash? Okay, that's what I'm getting from here. And then to kind of double back, I don't think I'm going to read this one. I'm being called to just use these three, right? And not to go with the second one, to go with the third one. To live in the world where underoos are standard business attire or superhero garb is. Okay, so it's like, would you rather show up in the world in your most comfortable skin, in your most vulnerable skin, in your most authentic skin, and everyone accept you? Or you walk in the world and show up as your highest potential, the highest thought process that you have for yourself, like with every super power that you can possibly obtain. You come up with your own name, and this is what I call my highest self. I am Captain Save I am Captain Save 'em. You know, there you go. And this is how I show up in the world, and this is how the world sees me, and this is how they accept me. It's like, what would you prefer? Now realize, you showing up extremely comfortable in the world means that everybody sees your vulnerabilities. Everyone, in a sense, sees the parts of you that could be weak, could be deemed weak, or ugly, or not appealing, not alluring or attracting, you know, type of thing. That's what happens when you show up in your underoos, when you're in your most vulnerable and comfortable state. People are able to judge whether or not, you know, you're doing the right thing. And if they don't think you're doing the right thing, then they can judge how you're going about it, right? Because you are inviting them into your business, right? You're, in a sense, airing your dirty laundry by walking out in your dirty laundry and airing it for everyone to see, right? No, it's not okay for people to do that. No one should offer judgment unless you're called by the divine. And oftentimes, these people are not spiritual enough to be called by the divine. So this is the reason why we are using this basic platform. You know, that's where the difference in the previous reading with the basic and royal card came out. All right, it's the same energy, and I know that other reading is going to be in alignment with you for you to see it soon. So make sure you click on it. All right, and get all the nutrients you possibly can out of it. Okay, so or the superhero garb. You want to show up as your favorite superhero, and people only know about your one flaw. And in that one flaw, they can't even truly use that against you because you're so super that it doesn't make sense for them to take away your power when they want you to save them, right? You're really Captain Save them. Realize in this moment then you aren't allowed to have your own personal face. You have to be the mask, and you have to operate as the mask forever. It's kind of like what is it, like Macho Libre or something like that? Nacho Libre? No, Macho Libre. He was a wrestler, a Spanish wrestler, and I don't really know too much of the backstory, but I've learned with wrestlers, like you walk around as your character. That is your life. Once you decide that this is the route you choose, this is who you show up as in the world. Everyone, you become a hero then. Everyone views you in this light, and that's just how you have to operate. Going to the grocery store, that's how you operate. When you're at home, that's how you operate. Everywhere. Most of the time, some people don't even take their mask off. Their masks are on all the time. And it's symbolic because for people walk around with their masks on all the time and just run to everyone's rescue, being people pleasers. That's what that could be saying here. Would you prefer to be a people pleaser, or would you prefer to please yourself and be super selfish in the world and really not care how you show up to others because you're most comfortable showing up as yourself? Right? See, all these, they really make you think. They make you think, what would you prefer? And if you could only choose one, ideally we would combine them. But that is not what you're being called to do. There's going to be so many situations in life where you're being called to do either or. Not both. Not force it. Not neither. You got to do either or. One or the two. So which one are you going to choose? And make sure that you understand the principles behind it so that you don't even need to argue your case. Once you make your confident decision, your energy, your air, your aura, people just respect. And honestly, probably go to you to emulate. So on that note, I think we are done here. I look forward to seeing us on the next one. Yeah, I'll see you soon.